Hi everyone, Barbara here again with a quick and simple project using ColourArte's vivid ultrametallics, water, and polymer gloss medium. You may have seen the latest craze of acrylic paint pouring where you can get amazing colors and cell formulations. I don't have any of the proper ingredients to make the cells yet, but I wanted to try to see what could be done on a much smaller scale using the 3 ingredients I mentioned. I'm going to make a small acrylic skin to use inside a bezel for a necklace. And by adding various colors, I will not be pouring, but instead I will be dripping the colors onto a craft sheet, and eventually I will be manipulating the colors to give it a marbled effect. I mixed all of the colors off camera using only the vivid, some water, and gloss polymer medium. I used about a 1-to-1 ratio of all 3 ingredients. I began by making a small puddle of the China Black Vivid and continued by dropping each color into the puddle. I am working on such a small scale that only a toothpick was used to pick up the colors and drop each one into the black puddle. I am adding more drops of the China Black into the center of each of the droplets and then moving the piece back and forth to let the colors move about and do whatever they will. I decided to help the colors move by using a pen, running it through the colors to give it that marbled effect. I simply used a crisscross type of motion. I'm not blending the colors, but I'm simply moving them about through the black background. Continue adding droplets of color until you feel like you have enough variation to get a cool effect. Use the pen again, or whatever tool you have, to move the colors and make your tiny designs throughout. You can also pick the piece up and let it move and flow and blend again like you did before. Can you see that marbled effect coming through now? Continue the same process, adding colors and manipulating with the pen or by moving the piece around to get those colors flowing. I'm afraid it can be very addictive because it is so much fun to add the colors and see what else is going to happen. Just remember, no two will ever be alike, and it is always a surprise, and I must say, usually a pleasant surprise. At this point, you can see that my background is quite dark, so I'm concentrating now on these lighter and brighter colors for better contrast. I am really liking these little designs that are being formulated as I run the pen through the colors. I have left my blob of paint to dry overnight. And so now it is time to see if I can peel it off of my craft sheet in one piece. I am carefully removing it because even though I won't be using the whole piece, I will be picking a section that I feel is most interesting to be used in my bezel. That gold is really popping against the black, and I'm not sure the camera is picking it up, but it looks absolutely gorgeous with the tiny bits of pink and blue. Now I'm looking for the most interesting section, and using the bezel as my template, I simply drew around it with a white paint pen. You can use scissors to cut through the skin just inside the lines, and then place it in the bezel to see how it fits. Continue to trim the piece until it does fit inside the bezel. I didn't use any glue to adhere the acrylic skin to the bezel, but you certainly could if you feel it is not sticking well. I used the tip of my wooden pick to burnish the edges. I think it looks like a couple of feathers. What do you think? If you have a Teflon bone folder, you can get the skin burnished really well without scratching the skin. Or perhaps even placing a piece of wax paper over it and using a regular bone folder. I'm going to mix up some ice resin in a small cup. Just follow the directions on the package. After mixing off camera, I let it sit for a few minutes because it had a lot of air bubbles. Then I poured it into the bezel. This will seal the piece and enhance the colors as well. You only want to mix what you will use because it does not keep. And then you can set it aside and let it dry for 6 or more hours to cure. If you still see some air bubbles in the resin after pouring, you can take that same pin and pop those bubbles just by inserting it into the resin. Here are a few more close-ups for you. It was very hard to capture the true depth and beauty of the colors, but I hope you get the idea. If you liked my project today, please give me a thumbs up, and comments are always appreciated. If you would like to see more videos like this, I would surely appreciate it if you would consider subscribing to my channel. As always, thanks for watching, and remember to take time to play.